Morning, neighbor.
Good morning. You're up and about earlier than usual?
It's a change, I suppose. I'm trying something new today.
Is that so?
I'm going rock climbing. I read an article about it, and I made the decision right away.
You read an article about rock climbing?
Well, the article itself was about philosophy. It's a new philosophy, and it's a rather sobering one, too. It forces you to look at yourself, acknowledge you only have one unique and precious life, then address what you want that life to be about. It's about doing new and greater things. It's not easy, but the philosophy forces you to fill your life with everything you are able to.
It sounds like quite the philosophy.
It is. I did not have time to read the entire article, but I did not see a single negative comment in the space below. Most people do not realize the amount of accumulations toward the self that we regularly leave on the table. The philosophy really is rather sobering.
I can imagine. I did not know you were a climber, though.
Well, I'm not. It's going to be entirely new to me.
If it were me, I think I would be somewhat scared.
I'm more anxious than scared, I suppose. I'm keeping myself steady, though. It's important to remember that philosophy is not for the weak-willed.
That may in fact be true. You're not going to take a class on rock climbing first, though?
Well, experience is the best teacher.
What do you mean?
I mean that doing something is the best way to learn it. Everyone knows that.
Do you really believe that?
Well, everyone does.
Does that mean you can explain it to me?
Do you need me to?
That was not my question.
I know you're trying to lead me into something stupid, but I will not let you. You always act like I must follow along into whatever you want to talk about. Sometimes I think you actually do think of the whole universe as revolving around yourself, and the rest of us are just characters for your circumstances. I really do think that of you, and it's your own fault. You consider your own eyes to be.
If experience is such an encompassing teacher, why does it have such a narrow curriculum? Will you tell me that?
What do you mean?
Well, what does experience teach but itself? What can experience teach but itself? Is experience, for example, not like the history teacher who is only able to lecture on his own life? And would it not be fair to expect such a teacher to be fired upon his first review?
I see what you mean, I suppose. You are being too literal, though, which is what you always do when you try to not make sense. If nothing else, experience brings familiarity, which can be a test for assumptions.
Well, familiarity is often the most blinding factor of all. You are looking at things too simply, which is what you always do. Stop trying to come up with an answer for me, and instead, direct yourself fully at the question.
Well, what is the question? I bet you do not even.
What type of teacher is experience? That is the question.
I already told you that, though. Experience is the best of teachers, which is something everyone knows. Just because you can maybe argue that it's not a perfect teacher does not mean it's a bad one.
Does that mean an education of experience alone would be the best of all possible?
I did not say that. A person would obviously not want to have an education based solely on experience. It would, in fact, be...
How would that be possible?
What do you mean?
How would it be possible for one's education to not be based solely on experience?
You should be the one telling me that. Why do I have to tell you your own argument?
We have not yet reached my argument, and we are, instead, still working our way through yours. You have said that experience is the best teacher, which is a claim needing proof. You have also said that experience should not be one's sole teacher, which is a claim needing proof. We should look at the second claim first, which...
The second claim is the easier of the two because it's obvious. No one would say that experience should be any person's only teacher. For some things, of course, a person would obviously be better off trying to learn about them rather than trying to experience them.
How would a person do that?
Well, by opening a book, for example.
Would this act itself not be an experience?
Do you mean that I would be experiencing the book?
That is a fair way of putting it. After all, a book written in 1801 is not read the same way in the years 1901 or 2001. And the same applies to a book read in poor weather, as opposed to if it were read during a picnic on a sunny day. Perhaps, for example, you were to read the greatest book of all time on a day in which you were in a foul mood, or you read a cliché love story just after a breakup, or you read the work of one great thinker while already being a disciple of his rival, or you read a particular sentence while tired, or giddy, or depressed, or angry, or in any other imaginable state. The truth is that no information can ever come to you in a way other than experience. There is no destined or proper way in which information makes its way into you, and there is no destined or proper way in which you are to sieve that information. Experience is the only teacher you will ever have.
If that is true, then why are you so opposed to it? You said earlier that experience is the worst of teachers, and now you are saying it's a person's only one.
Which is it?
Both are true, and I preach either.
Both? That does not make any sense, though. They are on opposite sides of the argument.
It makes sense, and it does in fact explain a great many things. It does not make your sensibilities, however, which is the root of your opposition, of which the fruit will be your unchanged state. You do not like the implications, and such will be enough for you to find shelter in any complications. Experience is, after all, strong enough to smother any found truths of itself. Simply decide that I have expressed things overly meanly, for example, and you will have yourself a nice, warm counter-argument to curl up in.
You are not making any sense, which makes you look stupid, not me. All you have done is insult me for what I have pointed out, so I know you do not actually have anything to say. It never occurs to you that you could be wrong, so you assert anything to make yourself seem.
What could I be wrong about? We have still not reached any argument of mine. You made 2 claims requiring investigation, and that search has led us to where we are. We can say that experience is the narrowest way in which a person can acquire information, and we can also say that experience is the only way in which a person acquires information.
Those cannot both be true, though.
Why not?
Well, because they are opposites.
Why does that matter?
If they are both true, what are we supposed to do? It would mean we begin things in a hole that we are never able to climb out of.
Well, desirability is not an ingredient of actuality. The truth is that experience is a paradox. It's the worst of teachers as well as the only one, and it's the stupid option as well as the smart. There is not a more misleading guide you could ever have than experience, but there is also no other guide able to make the trek with you. You are tethered to experience like a bad relation, and you will forever remain in its shadow like a famous one. Experience is the only way of learning about the world, and experience is the most warped way of learning about the world. The greatest lies you will ever have the chance to face will be within yourself, and it is therefore obvious that
Just because you think you have proved something does not mean I have to change my mind.
well, would you share your counter-argument with me? That way I will know it too.
I don't have to. I'm already late now anyway. I'm trying to do something new and you have me late like usual. You probably would not even listen to me.
I promise I will.
I know you would not, so your promise means nothing to me. You can say you would listen, but anyone would say that. It is easy to say things when you do not concern yourself with backing them up.
I see. Well, I await your counter-argument.
I am sure you will.
Will I see you tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I have a busy day, and I may want to go rock climbing again too.